Click here to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll get instant notification of new videos as they're released. So Cheltenham week is over. It feels like it's just started for some reason, but I'm quite glad it's over actually, because it almost feels like a distraction, because weeks like this only occur on an infrequent basis throughout the year, and really your focus should always be on the day-to-day stuff, because there's thousands of those, and that's what generates the true profitability over the course of a year. So, you know, weeks like Cheltenham, Royal Ascot and that are great, but they are a bit of a distraction. It's very intense as well. And I'm going through a very busy period at the moment with a number of different things. So it's been a bit hectic doing all of these things. Volume was pretty much where I expected it to be. And so there was nothing surprising there. Markets acted more or less the way I expected them to as well. The only thing I would say is, you know, we see this trend over the years. You know, the markets just become a little bit more jumpy than they used to be, and you get some weird things happening, such as prices suddenly spiking. But it seems to be that there are chunks of activity. You know, the markets at Cheltenham are tradable for a long period, much longer than you would normally trade them, and then the markets tighten up in the last sort of, you know, 7 to 2 minutes out, and in the last 2 minutes they just go bonkers as everybody exits their position. I think people are overweight in the markets. That's the impression that I get, is that there's too many overweight positions in the market, because very often, you know, and the biggest frustration for me this week has been I just can't get the money that I want to through the markets. And I know, you know, it's not an issue for most people out there. That would be a nice issue to have. But for me, it gets quite frustrating. This is one of the problems, that, you know, I need there to be a lot more money going through that market, to be much more liquid if I'm going to really do something special. And I just gradually find that harder and harder over the years. But that's just because of the scale at which I operate. And it's not really a problem for most people. I've captured a few videos this week of me doing smaller trades, because that's generally what most people are doing. And just showing how that, you know, is quite easy to do. But when you're using large amounts of money, of course, you've got to establish a position in the market safely and then gently exit the position. And very often I'm finding that I haven't been able to do that. Certainly not, you know, as much as I would like to. So yeah, a little bit frustrating from that perspective. So I think I may need to go through a period of reinvention this year. I think I need to look a bit deeper and find more creative ways of establishing some of these positions. Because the problem you have is if you put too much money in the market, you expose your hand and people will trade against you. But also, you know, if you put too little, then you won't maximize your opportunity. So there's this balance to be had. And on some occasions this week, I just didn't get that balance right. But you know, it's been a fine week. I did pretty much what I expected. I thought I would do, and most people would be absolutely overjoyed with similar numbers. But what I'll do is I'll dig through some of the statistics and stuff. Have a dig around. If you look at the thread on the forum or some other areas of social media, you'll see a few comments that I've made in terms of how the market's performing and so on. But yeah, I think it's pretty much almost exactly as I expected. One of the things that you'll find now is tomorrow, Saturday, you'll find the market's pretty weak, and I've just looked at the scheduling for Saturday, and it's pretty poor. So, you know, it's going to be a lot harder to trade. It's going to be very different from what we've seen this week. If you've been used to the markets at Cheltenham, it's going to look completely different tomorrow. And typically what we found in the past is the week after Cheltenham is pretty weak as well. But that's not a problem this year because it's Easter, and you know, there's the opportunity to do other things than simply trading in the forthcoming week. But it will be a little bit weaker. Markets will be very different from what we've just experienced. But that's Cheltenham over for another year. And we now look forward to the Aintree Grand National meeting in April. But anyway, I hope everything went okay for you. With all of the data and information that I've picked up in a few of the videos, hopefully I'll get the chance to render those in the near future and put some of those up on the channel. But hope you did all right. And if you didn't, don't worry, because these weeks aren't very regular, and we've got the rest of the year to look forward to. Now it's onwards and upwards from this point within the year. If you're interested in learning more about BetAngel, its tools and the opportunities they present, then why not visit betangel.com today and download a free trial.